Perhaps one of the most misunderstood options we get, but one of the most highly used options we get is finished sides on a cabinet. If you're working through our online order form or you're supplying a list of cabinets to us, unlike any other cabinet line I can think of, especially the ones at Lowe's or Home Depot where they come with all the sides of the cabinets finished, all of our cabinets, or Conestoga's cabinets, come with unfinished ends. So this is just going to come as a raw wood veneer with the front frame hanging past by 1/4 of an inch. It's not meant to be seen. It's going against a wall or another cabinet, so why have Conestoga spend more money on your behalf, which comes out of your wallet, to finish a side you're not going to see? With that said, you have to tell us on the order form. We can pick it up off of drawings, but if it's on an order form or a cabinet list, we need to know which ends need to be finished. Left side, right side, or both. So the left and right are always called out as you face the cabinet. Now, this raises a whole second set of questions because we have, or Conestoga has, two finished end options. One is called exposed end, and one is called a flush end. And this is the question that comes up over and over again with people is what is exposed and what is flush? What's the difference? They're both finished end options. Let's start with the exposed end. The standard exposed end looks like this, and it's a finished end, so this is a crystal white coffee glazed cabinet. As soon as you say exposed right or left, that side is going to come with a matching veneer. In this case, it's going to be a maple veneer with the crystal white and the coffee glaze applied to it, and the front frame is going to hang past 5/16 of an inch, a little over 1/4 of an inch. So you have to be okay with that traditional face frame overhang. If you're ordering Essence line cabinets, which are the particle board, lower cost version of the cabinet, your only option for a finished side is exposed. There is no option for a flush, thicker side panel. You have to go with the exposed. On flush end, I'm going to spin this around, the difference on flush end, and this is what we're going to use automatically if you're ordering the Advantage full plywood box and you say I want a finished end, we're going to default to this. And what this is, same thing, you're getting a matching veneer finished in crystal white coffee glaze or whatever your finish is, but what they've done is they're using 11/16 thick plywood which pushes out and then more or less fills in that void behind the front frame. So now instead of 5/16 of an inch, I'm getting just about a fingernail. It's not, they call it flush, but it's not perfectly flush because these are ready to assemble cabinets. The only time you can get that perfectly flush is if you're building the cabinet before it's finished. Then you come back with a flush bit trim router, like a laminate top router, where you can just run a bearing with the bit down the side of this, and it will take that right down to perfectly level with this, and then you finish the box. You don't have that luxury because you're buying fully finished cabinetry, and what Conestoga is rightfully concerned about is if they try to make this come out perfectly flush, and you go and build the cabinet, and there's any variation in the assembly that causes this to be a little pushed out a little bit, or the grooving location, or the plywood comes a little thicker than 11/16, you're going to be looking at the leading edge of unfinished plywood right here. So they have to give it a fingernail. It's about a 32nd of an inch right here. They call it flush, but it gives you more of a furniture kind of look. So be aware when you're doing your finished end options for a standard finished end, it's flush or exposed. We have other videos that talk about other ways to finish off the end of a cabinet. You can do an unfinished flush end. Some people will ask for that, so they're not spending money on finish, but they want a thicker plywood end. We can do an unfinished flush end on the Advantage box. You can also do applied door panels. We can do integrated end panels. If you're doing a custom wood species like walnut or alder or pine, this would be a skin. You wouldn't get a flush end. You'd get a 1/4 inch skin and you would apply it to the side of the cabinet to create the same kind of flush end look, but it wouldn't come already finished. So there's all sorts of nuances and confusion with how do I finish off the end of the cabinet, but the two main ones for standard wood species, red oak, cherry, maple, soft maple, and painted, is going to be the flush end and the exposed end. So if you have any questions, let us know. We do have a blog on our articles section of our website that talks through this. Hopefully this video is helping clear it up. Critical point is you've got to tell us if you want the end finished. If you send in a list of 27 cabinets and don't specify any finished ends, we're going to quote no finished ends. We don't know where those are going in the kitchen. We don't know what needs to be finished or not. And there's cost associated with that, probably between 40 and 60 bucks per cabinet side. So if you don't tell us, your job is not costed correctly. So you've got to take the time to let us know which sides are getting finished. And if you can tell us exposed or flush, that really helps us out. Have any questions? Give us a shout. Thanks.